The end is officially here for the Dallas Cowboys as they got some devastating news surrounding Dak Prescott. He's going to miss multiple weeks, and I've got mixed emotions about this. So let's break it down on this episode of Cowboys Digest. Welcome in, everybody, to Cowboys Digest. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis. I don't have my usual setup today, so bear with me. I think it looks all right. Let me know in the comments down below, but we're going to work with what we got today, and we got some big news coming out of Big D. It's the Dallas Cowboys, and it is Dak Prescott who is going to be injured for a few weeks. A hamstring injury that sidelined him at the end of yesterday's game against the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously he was struggling this year quite a fair bit. And now at this point, I think it's time to shut it down. I truly think it's time to shut it down. There's an IR possibility here coming up with Dak Prescott. So I'm not really sure where the Cowboys are going to go in that direction, but he's going to miss multiple weeks at least. And it's a hamstring. Those could get tricky. He is an aging quarterback as well, making a ton of money. I think the Cowboys are going to err on the side of caution and protect their investment right here. So who's going to come to the rescue? Who is going to be the guy for the rest of the season? Probably going to be Cooper Rush, who is 5-1 as a starter for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, for me personally, I would not go this route if I'm the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones. I would go more towards Trey Lance, who I think is going to be the guy who has a much better future than Cooper Rush at this stage. And we could see CeeDee Lamb's stats over there when Cooper Rush is filled in for Dak pretty good, and he's gotten some open looks. Even yesterday, he got some open looks, and unfortunately, that shoulder that was hampering CeeDee Lamb forced him to not be able to make some of those catches. But we see the chemistry between him and Cooper Rush, so maybe that's something to build on for the Cowboys if they're still trying to make the playoffs. But at this point, I think it's destitute. I do not think this team can make the postseason the way that they've been playing, and considering all of the injuries that are plaguing them right now. We look at Micah Parsons. He was supposed to be out for 2 to 4 weeks. It's been 6 weeks now. Deron Bland also supposed to be out 6 weeks. It's we're going on week 10 here that he's not back in the lineup. So there have been a lot of injuries for the Cowboys. I'm not letting them off the hook, though. They have severely underperformed, and Dak Prescott is a big reason for that. The offensive line is a big reason for that. And at this stage of the season, you're 3-5. I think you pull the plug on it. I think you try to acquire some draft capital at the trade deadline, and you just rest all of your stars that are hurt right now. I don't think there's any point in bringing back Micah Parsons, Deron Bland, even CeeDee Lamb at this point. I would not chance it with CeeDee Lamb either. He was feeling his shoulder on every single ball that was thrown his way, and I don't want it to get worse. So I think the Cowboys are better to err on the side of caution here and just go that route. I think this is it. I think this is it. You got to try to get a higher draft pick. You got to try to reset this franchise because you let 12 starting caliber players go in the offseason. How else did you think this was going to go this year? And I'm talking exactly to Jerry Jones right here. How else did you think this season was going to go when you're letting high profile players walk out the door and you're doing little to nothing to replace them? So it's been a season from hell. It's been a season filled with misery, and Dak Prescott has been at the forefront of that. And again, time to pull the plug. Do not re-injure him here. And you can see his stats. They're not horrible, but they're not Dak Prescott like. They're not the same stats that we saw in his MVP runner-up season from last year. And the interceptions say 0. That is not the case. He's got 8 interceptions on the season, which is a fairly high number. I think he only threw something like 9 of all of last year. So it's definitely been a step down, but the offensive line is to blame for that. The running situation is to blame for that. And overall, the lack of weapons. So if you want to give Cooper Rush playing time, go ahead. But I would personally go with Trey Lance, who you actually gave up a 4th-round pick to go out and acquire. So I think it's time for you to move into that direction. He's an impending free agent. See what you got in the kid. He's 24 years old, can run like the wind. He can basically do it all back there. He just needs playing time. He needs reps, and now is the perfect opportunity to give him those reps. Maybe you could flip him at the deadline. Maybe you could re-sign him as a versatile like player going into next season. I think there is a role that Trey Lance can play on this team that he's much better suited for, as opposed to holding a clipboard and having a microphone in his ear. And this is something that I wanted to bring up here. Honestly, the Cowboys are fools if they don't play Trey Lance at this point. All due respect to Cooper Rush, who, as I mentioned earlier in the video, has gone 5-1 as a starter for the Dallas Cowboys. He's filled in admirably, and he actually looked decent against the Atlanta Falcons. Look, he's not a bad quarterback. He is a backup quarterback, but Trey Lance was a top 5 draft pick in the National Football League. He was someone that was really highly touted, got a cannon of an arm, can run like the wind. I think his ceiling is significantly higher, and he's also 7 years younger than Cooper Rush. So why not go that avenue? Why not give him a shot? They traded for him. This is an actual and literal chance to see what he has in a contract year. And it's true. This is a chance. Like the Cowboys in the years that they've acquired Lance previously, I mean, they've been a 12-win team. They've been a team with Super Bowl aspirations. They ultimately fell short. You don't have to tell me that twice, but they have never had the opportunity to work him in there. Now you're 3-5. You're clearly struggling to establish anything. There are notable holes on this roster. Some could argue that you're going to be failing, you're going to be setting up Trey Lance to fail, and that's entirely possible. But at the same time, he had all of those preseason reps. I think you give him a shot here. Just see what you have in the kid. He's 24 years old. And if he performs well, maybe he's even not a quarterback. I've touched on this a couple of times here, and I said that this could really help the Cowboys offensively going forward. Having Trey Lance, who is an incredible athlete, who's 6'4", who can run like the wind, can throw the ball, catch the ball, having him in a Taysom Hill-like role, like the New Orleans Saints have, I think that could ultimately be the play for him here. I really do. And he's got that potential. He's got that level of athleticism and strength. So why not? He is so much better suited in some sort of role as opposed to just rotting away on the bench, holding a clipboard and calling plays for Dak Prescott. It just doesn't make sense. So the Cowboys got to do something here. And I think Trey Lance is the one that needs to be starting going forward. Again, all due respect to Cooper Rush. I like him. He's been a serviceable backup for many years now, but it's time to move on. You know what he is. You still don't know what you have in Lance. So give him a shot and see where to go from there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you have mixed emotions based on the injury to Dak Prescott? Do you not want to see him back this season? Do you think it's better if the Cowboys start Cooper Rush, Trey Lance? Let me know in the comments down below. And how quickly do you want this season to end? How badly do you want the offseason to come? And I could tell you this right away. I want it to be next week already. I want the offseason to start next week, because this season is truly not what I signed up for. And I'm sure a lot of Cowboy fans feel the same way. But let me know. That'll wrap it up for this episode of Cowboys Digest. Thanks, guys, for making it this far. Appreciate all the support, and I will see you all tomorrow. Go Cowboys.